All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Wiley Show. Welcome. Make sure y'all thumbs up the video. Now, we got a lot to discuss in this video, and we're just going to get right into it. Let's talk about the importance of this new drama that is going on with James Chanel. Now, everybody was saying, Wiley, I don't believe it. I need to see the missing teeth. I need to see the video. Well, apparently, we have posted on wileythetroll.com that he had filed charges against Chrisean Rock for battery and also suing her civilly because he missed out on a lot of concert dates at Tamar's show. Now, a little background. Tamar literally had a concert and they invited Chrisean just to come on stage. Due to lack of communication or Chrisean being drunk, she thought that she was pulled to perform. And to find out that she did not perform, and so she was upset about that. She was interrupting the prayer, and Tony was looking at her weird. So she went backstage saying, I supposed to perform, what happened? And people was explaining what the tea is. That James said, oh, no, you didn't pose to perform. That no, I'm just going to try to play. And she whacked her. You know what I'm saying? And she like literally hit her. You know, Chrisean hit him in the mouth and blood was everywhere. He had a busted nose, busted teeth was gone, etc. And so all of her fans was like, listen, let's talk about it. Let's have this conversation. We didn't see no proof. This is crazy. This is not right. Okay, this is not good at all. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to get into it. I'm like, oh my gosh, James. So I'm happy that he's suing Chrisean because I feel like Chrisean should be sued. Number one, you cannot be putting your hands on people. And number two, if the roles were reversed and James hit Chrisean and knocked her out and knocked out the remainder of her teeth, this will literally be an issue. This will literally be a problem. And black women be like, cancel that gay man. This is why they're on their way to hell. Solomon, Gomorrah, black men need to stand their place. Just because you bent over, you know, they would have went crazy. But because she was a woman and because, you know, James eat a lot of food, a lot of calories, maybe his BMI got to be about 300. He weighed about close to 400 pounds. He didn't get the same type of sympathy. They said, oh, you a man. And also it didn't help that he's feminine and he's gay. The sad part about it is when I go and I look at Tamar, and I love Tamar. I love the Braxtons or whatever. I felt like Tamar should have said something the night of. She waited days to have James back. And I felt like she should have said something that day. Like, this is wrong. This wasn't right. You know, Chrisean, you was wrong. But I'm happy that eventually, days later, she did speak up. But this man was severely hurt, embarrassed, and he missed out on a lot of money. Because you got to understand, you don't get paid if you don't hit that stage to sing background. He don't have insurance, right? The only people that got insurance is the headliner. And that is, you know what I'm saying, would be Tamar. And so but this is all also on Tamar. And this is also on the people. Let's be clear. The producers, the promoters. Y'all bring a drunk. Chrisean is a drug addict, and she's a drunk, and she's a bad mother. So you bring this drunk, drug addict, bad mother to a concert. It's going to be drama. when you bring a drunk and you bring an addict, there will be mess. There will be chaos. There will be nothing sober. Nothing would work when you bring in that type of person. Now, I personally believe that the promoter that promoted Tamar's show brought Chrisean and literally said, we're going to bring Chrisean because she's going to bring the ratings. After this debacle, Tamar's show started to pick up traction and it started to sell out. I think that Chrisean was used for a benefit. I feel like Chrisean was used for, you know, the blogs to post and bring more visibility to Tamar. But I don't think Tamar was expecting for Chrisean to be like, I don't feel like Chrisean was expecting that. I don't feel like Chrisean was expecting to being knocked out. I don't feel like Chrisean was expecting to be embarrassed. That's what in her mind. But she physically harmed somebody. Now, you could be embarrassed. You could feel like they tricked you. You could feel like they said you could get on the stage. You didn't. But that don't give you the reason to put hands on somebody. That don't. So I'm happy that James is suing. I'm happy that he is trying to get compensation because he missed out on a lot of money. I mean, it's expensive living in LA. And if he don't perform, he won't eat. You all got to remember, James got popular for promoting Patty Pies and sold out the pies, right? And Patty didn't pay him. You know what Patty paid James? It is so disgusting. A purse, a meal, and a picture. There was no compensation. There was no dollar amount. It was some food, free pie, and a Chanel bag. That was it. All the masses of the money get absolutely nothing. And so where did James have to go? Singing background for Tamar. So let this be a telling story. Like, you got to know how to promote. And I don't think he was expecting that. He should have got a podcast, a show, sold t-shirts. He got nothing but free food, a picture with Patty, and a purse. And the gag is, Patty didn't even want to do that. The only reason why Patty LaBelle even gave him that is because the public was like, girl, we didn't know nothing about your past, your pies, until this big old man promoted Patty, until he promoted the pies. And Patty was so in her feelings like the pies was selling out before he said something. And then people say, well, he should have never, she didn't actually promote. No, but she damn sure took notice and started getting them fat checks and building a food empire off of this black man. You understand? So I'm inspired about Monique because we always talk about how the white man keep us down and keep us oppressed, don't pay us fairly, and use us up, use our swag. Black people too. Black people, some black people in power, they know they only got they come up because of a viral moment, because of black, and they are stuck on them and act like they don't exist. So inequality and injustice also happen with your own people. So let's not get it twisted. Patty is a black woman, and she could have helped James and wrote that man a check for about $5 million. And he would not have to be singing no background and had to get whooped backstage at a Tamar concert. Let's be clear. All right? So when nobody even know that Patty had a pie, it was just on the shelf collecting dust. This man went, ate the pie, his ab lips was on point, and it sold out. And she been making money ever since. Now, let's move on from that. We have to post that on wildershow.com, and we support James' lawsuit against Chrisean, that evil, drunk, pissy woman. Now, let's move on. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, but this other story I got to get into. I got to get into the one and only Charles, your lunch is ready. I got to get into Miss Netta. First of all, I don't know how they became famous, but thank you to TikTok. A lot of folks are becoming famous on TikTok, including me. All right, so I'm not going to throw shade. I'm not going to hate. I am happy. A lot of people thought that she was an old, unattractive, biological woman. I knew her teeth when I first laid eyes on her. And everybody was like, how did they become famous? And they said Charles is attractive, social media lover, etc. So they're in the news today because they decided to get some surgery. Fat reduction surgery, BBL. They decided to get some surgery. I was so disgusted because I'm like, Miss Netta, you have acne, you have bumps coming, you have lesions coming out your face. And you mean to tell me you're going to cut up your bottom part of your body without seeing a dermatologist? Are we that serious? Like, you're going to go get surgery. You got crust bumps, hair growing like hair particles, infection bumps on your face, all over your body. And you say, man, skip my face and my bumps. I'm going to go and cut up on my body. Now, I just don't understand that piece. Because shouldn't you be working on your face? Shouldn't you be working on, your cheeks and your face and all of that? We know Charles is a little touch. He's on a little slow spectrum. We know this because he don't talk or whatever. But I'm happy that y'all becoming famous. But please put the investments on your skin because clearly your skin is saying something. Maybe it's too much testosterone. Maybe it's too much hormone shots. I don't know what it is, but you got a lot of bumps. I don't know if it's the bump, but it's a lot of crust bumps on your face. And I don't even want to eat your stuff leaking out them bumps. You cook them out no. But I just don't agree that y'all gonna go ahead on and putting all that stuff on your body, cutting up your body, and then your face is crusty. I just don't understand that and bumpy. Get away out of there. I would let's stop playing. And a lot of women were upset at Miss Netta because they was like, it's a dude. Why she gotta be Miss Netta? We all understand how this thing operates. Me personally, I respect people in whatever they want to be. I respect your gender identity, whatever how you feel. But the problem that I have is that Miss Netta promoted a man that apparently not working and that she's providing for. And you're providing this culture that I have the bag, let the man don't have nothing, and let me take care of him. And I don't like that piece, that we're promoting being submissive to a scrub. I don't mind being submissive if I was a woman, if I was Marquita in real life, Marquita the cross-eyed diva, honey. And if I had a man, the only man that I'm cooking and cleaning for is a man that's bringing in a check, a man that's managing my career and giving me multiple bags. And I don't mind getting on my backside and let him please me. But I'm not going to be no submissive chick and you ain't working, you ain't bringing me no bags and all of that. I don't understand that you're using my clout because this show a lot of folks that you could look like doo-doo and be popular and make money, and you will always attract a Charles. That's the issue, and it's a problem. It's a lot of dudes that look good and they leech on to a woman that got the bag, that got the money. They don't work. Only thing they provide is a high grocery bill and make your drawers wet. You can get your drawers wet by a Rose machine. You ain't got to get no scrub to get them drawers wet. I'm just going to tell you what it is. But culturally speaking, I feel like it's disgusting to promote that type of activity with Miss Netta and showing, oh, let me bring this scrub. No. Baby, do he have a work? You go and get you a roll, go and get your little vibrator, or go and dig in with your fingers. And for you ain't got to worry about digging in with your fingers, Miss Netta, because we got the same thing you got. We got the same thing together. Yours just probably look like a crunch bar, and mine's is smooth and chocolate with a nice vein. I got to be clean on that, okay? Because if your face is that bumpy, I can guarantee them balls bumpy balls, and I can guarantee your sausages look like a crunch bar. I can just guarantee you that right then and there. And that's disgusting. And I hope that you and Mr. Charles, that y'all rushing to the clinic because it's giving super bug. That's what it's giving. Because there ain't no way that's giving, baby. That's giving a super bug. That's giving an outbreak. That's what it's giving, in my humble opinion. But I am glad that you making your money. I'm glad that you got your coins. I'm glad that you doing what you got to do, honey. I am happy whatever you doing, but I ain't taking no picture putting skin on top of skin, baby. We gonna have to take a picture when you social distance. I saw you at Marty's, and I could have went on to Marty's, got on the flight, went on to Marty's in Dallas, but I'm not taking no picture up in no selfie. We're gonna take a social distance picture or an AI picture. We just put our pictures together. But I'm not putting my skin on your skin that I have that infection or that outbreak. I'm just gonna call it out what it is. And damn sure I don't want that type of lunch that I wind up have to get an antibiotic. I don't want no lunch and I gotta go and get an antibiotic for the rest of my life. Multiple antibiotics. I don't want that type of lunch. Baby, I'll starve before I get a type of lunch that I gotta shoot up an antibiotic. I'm just gonna keep it all the way real with you on that, okay? Absolutely not. No, Miss Netta, no. I might as well bend over for T.S. Madison. At least she ain't got lesions coming out her cheekbone and her forehead, okay? Only thing I got to deal with is that extra size sausage inside of, and at least I could be in a mansion in the shack too, and, all that type of stuff. Oh, whatever to do. I think it's the or whatever that is. I'm just keeping it. I'm just keeping it all the way real. I'm just keeping it all the way. I know y'all got a lot of stuff to say up in here, but I don't know if y'all seen them bumps, because ain't no way in the world that you get bumps. I mean, you got all the bumps and you want to get a BBL. That's the gag. And I'm like, girl, let's stop, girl. Really? Is this what we doing? Like, for real? That is just like, because at first I didn't even know how they became famous. So one of my producers like, hey, they're really, really famous. And I said, really? They're famous? Oh my gosh. And I went over there. And the first thing I said was, oh my God, why she got all these crust bumps, all those leisures? That's the first thing that came out of my mouth when I seen it. I knew her teeth, like that she was one of the girl guys. I knew her teeth, but girl, you know what I'm saying? I just was like, can somebody please go tell her to go to the clinic and get, some steroid shots or something? I just don't understand that. Yeah, or a chemical pill or whatever it takes, because that was disgusting. Press one if you know who I Miss Netta, if you watch their content on TikTok. If you watch their content. Now, I ain't trying to disrespect her, but that face was very disrespectful. And I saw it with my own 2 eyes, baby, the good one. And I seen it with the googly one. And when I tell you, I wasn't impressed at all when it came to that. Honestly, I was not impressed when it came to that. And I'm going to keep it all the way real. Give me a second here. Because I sent her an email. I sent Ms. Netta an email, and I said, girl, can you please go to the doctor and get it checked? Like, really, go on to the dermatologist. Go on over there, make an appointment. When you come to Chicago, go on and make you an appointment, child. It's plenty of them, baby. We got the University of Chicago, UIC, Stroger Hospital, all type of stuff. You go on get that check while you over here getting your lunch ready. You go on over here, going to the dermatologist, and you go on here to get your face checked, because that was disgusting, child. It really was. It was disgusting. I'm saying it out of my mouth. Now, we got to talk. Now, this, okay. Okay, let me take a little sip. Let me take a sip. Shout out to Monique. Shout out to Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp. Like, shout out to Mr. Shannon. Shout out to Club Shay Shay. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, first of all, I watched Club Shay Shay early this morning when it dropped on the podcast. I watched it I heard the podcast version because I couldn't wait for the video. So I stayed up and I listened maybe to like the first hour on the podcast because I had a long day. And then I said, okay, I still want to be in the chat. So I'm up here washing my clothes in the laundromat and I'm just watching the interview. And she just go in on standing on business. Now, I'm going to just talk about the highlights because we posted this on wileythetroll.com. Moderators, make sure y'all grab that article and post the link in the chat. But this woman, she dragged, and we got to keep it really, really clear. She dragged Kevin Hart. Now, mind you, I'm a huge Monique stan. And Kevin Hart, he got on, did the podcast, and he said, Mo, you my aunt and all that. And Monique mentioned all that. I remember that particular podcast. And he said, I'm going to reach out to Tyler. And so Monique said a while ago, like years ago, that he did keep his word and Tyler Perry didn't want to revisit that. So, okay. So then she was spilling some tea. She was like, well, he got on the phone. He was like, Mo, just forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Let's work on you. I help you. I executive produce or something. So she said, well, I got a show on a deal on the table to bring back the Monique show. And so he was like, okay, I executive produce. I executive produce. So she go to the studio and said, well, we got Kevin Hart on with us. You know, he's one of the biggest entertainers, right? And they said, okay, cool. This is exciting. This is Kevin Hart. So then they called Monique back and they said, Kevin Hart manager said that he don't want nothing to do with Monique. He did not agree to any of this. And so Monique called Kevin Hart and was like, hey, I'm hearing that your manager said that you don't want to do with me. Why is he getting involved with our business? And Kevin, according to Monique, said, I'll call you back. It was a misunderstanding, but I get to it. And that was over 2 years ago, and she never heard back from Kevin Hart. And so people was like, well, why everybody dragging Kevin Hart? Because he does a lot of mean and nasty things. It's like, I believe Kevin Hart only said that about Monique. Oh, you my sis, you my aunt, to get those ratings. Everybody wanted to interview Monique because she is ratings gold, because they know she's going to bring the ratings. They know she's going to say something controversial. And then Kevin Hart was pretending like, okay, let me reach out to Tyler Perry or whatever. And he offered to reach out. He said, well, I don't have a relationship with Oprah, but I'll reach out to Tyler Perry. And I believe that he was excited, making a promise that he knew he wasn't going to keep. And that's wrong. Stop promising people things that you know you're not going to keep. You know that you got on the phone with Monique, said you go executive produce a show, knowing that you weren't going to do that. So you wrong. Why would you say that, knowing that Monique going to continue to talk about that, right? Because you had no right making that promise. You said you're my aunt. You said you remind me of my family, my mom, my aunt, and all of that. You said this thing on the podcast. So what gets me with Kevin, you owe her an apology because you control the manager, and you know you told that manager that, whether they did it on own, but you agreed to it because you never kept the communication and you never produced the show. So this is why Monique is, many people say she's controversial. Many people say she's difficult. She's not. She's only talking about when she's being mistreated and letting the world know what is going on. And she's not only talking about white people that mistreat her in Hollywood, but also the black ones. If you was a fan of Monique and Sydney Oprah relationship, she have always kept and exposed the injustice of what's going on in Hollywood. She has said, but there are some black ones that is even worse than the white ones. She have always came out and called out black people that is doing wrong to call them up. She didn't just talk about the white executive, the white studios. She also called out black people, because it is a lot of black folks in the industry that comes out and they're very disrespectful. And so, and they're evil. They don't like to pay people fairly. They use people. So let's move on from that. So then, she talked about, Tiffany Haddish. So Tiffany Haddish did an interview. She said, I'm glad I don't have a husband, a difficult husband like her. I would never have a husband like Monique. And Monique pretty much came out and said, you would hope to have a husband like me, because maybe you wouldn't have to go through those two DUIs. She called out the two DUIs, and she did it very professionally. You mean to tell me that, and I remember when Tiffany said that, and Monique talked about this before, but she didn't talk about the DUIs because at that time, Tiffany didn't have the DUIs, right? It wasn't public or anything. She wasn't doing that. And she said it, and literally Monique was saying back then, she was saying that this is a girl, a baby. She don't understand the business or whatever. But this is the thing. In our culture, we talk against black kings because I think a sector of black women are so conditioned, and I believe Monique mentioned this podcast, they're so conditioned to believe that black men ain't nothing. They're dogs. They ain't ish. But soon when a black man come up and they're doing their job, they are a leader. They are, the anchor. They are the king. They are the head, and they're not abusing that power. We want to tell them to sit down and shut up. You know what I'm saying? Sit down and shut up. And she came out and said that Tiffany don't have a husband, and she don't. Tiffany is single. This is why I talk about the Claudias and different ones. These women, they talk all this mess, but they're going home lonely. They're going home lonely. They're in their 50s, don't have a man. They don't have nobody to cuddle up with. You know what they have? Their cats, their dogs, and their careers. But their careers is dwindling now. And when they leave the red carpet, guess what? they have to cuddle with their dog, their cat, or with their pillow. They don't have anybody. So when Tiffany Haddish said that, she was dead. She was wrong. And then because she was the girl, they picked her, right? She was the girl. But you know what happened with Tiffany Haddish? She wasn't getting paid fairly. You know what happened? Them same people put you in that place. Maybe she was asking for more money, but mysteriously, that video came out that she was up there doing pedo behavior, telling little kids to do all these acts, some weird R. Kelly acts, and she got canceled, right? She never was the same since that video. And I personally believe because she maybe wanted more, right? And so, because if they put you in that position, they can take you off that position, right? So when I look at Tiffany, and then she posts on her Twitter, she shared the interview with Club Shay Shay. She shared it on her channel. She shared it on her Twitter account because she's trying to deflect. No, honey, you know what you said. You said in the article. I think you should apologize. Just like when she dragged Tiffany, she needed to be dragged. And it was a classy read because Tiffany don't have a husband. She didn't say that Tiffany is not funny. She did not say that Tiffany is not, she's an industry plat. She just clearly said, how dare you talk about my husband when you ain't got one? When you ain't got a husband. So how can you criticize him, right? So I'm just looking at, then she go at Whoopi Goldberg. And she was talking about how, Whoopi Goldberg said, if you would have called me, I would have schooled you on Hollywood or on how to promote a movie. And she said about Whoopi Goldberg, see, Whoopi Goldberg is the type of woman that will lead me in to get abused by the slave master. She will lead me in to be a slave and be like, girl, do it. And be happy about it. That's how I summarized it. Whoopi on The View, because I was watching it live, if you would have called me, I would have schooled you. What Whoopi was telling Monique, go work for free. You know what you got to do, girl. This is Hollywood. But Whoopi definitely was upset because she dealt with inequality in Hollywood, and they tried to cancel her. Then the gag, and she didn't mention this in Club Shay Shay. Monique have mentioned this on Comedy Hype, that when Whoopi said that, and Whoopi told her, forget about what the little girls are coming behind you. Forget about them little girls. And your husband is too difficult. He's overbeating you, right? She was trashing her husband. And then Whoopi started telling her the tea of her salary that she was getting from The View. And Monique said, damn, I'm going to have to fight for you too because you're not getting paid fairly on The View, right? Whoopi should be getting the same salary that Barbara Walters was getting. But she's not getting it because a lot of these Black entertainers, they are just conditioned of taking peanuts. They okay with it. But when you a Black person that want to speak up for getting paid fairly, they want to say, girl, you difficult girl, just take what you're going to take. And that's why I'm glad that she did give Whoopi that one and just called her out to call her up, in the words of her and Daddy. So then they get, of course, I got to get to Oprah Winfrey piece, right? I love the Oprah Winfrey piece. And I love the fact how she talked about Oprah and how Oprah was so sneaky with it, right? Oprah got on the phone with her. They start opening up about Oprah issue with her mother. And she started opening up, and Monique started opening up issue with her mother, right? Oprah said, I'm going to interview your brother, but if you don't want me to interview, I shut it down. And Monique was like, hey, you can interview the brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that. Maybe he changed, but I don't want anything to do with it, right? So Monique get on the phone with Oprah and it was like, okay, I respect her because she didn't have to call me. Now, when the promos come out, the commercials coming out about the interview, not only did Oprah interview Monique's brother that violated her, but they also Oprah had Monique's mother, father on the show. And she didn't say anything about it. And Monique was upset, like, oh my gosh, I didn't agree with this. Like, what? And had all of that type of stuff. And then she brought up Barbara Walters and said, they came to Barbara Walters, and Barbara Walters refused to interview Monique's family. She turned them down. A white woman turned them down and say, no, this is crazy. Monique just won her Oscar. I'm not that desperate for clicks and views. I'm not that desperate. She turned them down. Before Barbara Walters died, she talked about how they came to her and she refused to bring them on the show, right? Oprah did it. Now, she didn't really get into this piece, but I will share it because I'm a huge Monique fan. So she went to Oprah. Oprah called us like, oh my gosh, I didn't know they was doing this. I was shocked just like you. Like, girl, this is in Harpo Studio. You the owner of Harpo Studio, baby. You got the contract that you pay that the network, ABC at the time, give you a licensing fee. And whatever they pay you, whatever revenue you make, you pay the net. They get a license fee, and you pay your employee. You got complete ownership of Oprah Winfrey Show, right? Complete ownership of Harpo Studio. So you gonna get on the phone with Monique and be like, "Oh my gosh, it was the producers. I was shocked. Like, you ain't the head woman in charge. Stop playing." So she tried to play these games with Monique, and that's why Monique is mad. And I'm so happy that Monique, because she keeps the same story. You follow it. They was doing an Oscar party, all the Oscar winners, right? They celebrate anytime somebody black win an Oscar. They come together, all the black people come together, especially the actors. They come together. So during that meeting, Oprah literally, somebody said, Monique, somebody got to get on the chest. She said, yes, Oprah, I feel like you was wrong for what you did interviewing my family. And Oprah said in front of her, if you think I did something wrong, I apologize. If you think you did do something wrong. See, Oprah would play these mind games. And that's why Monique is on her neck. And she had every right to do, because when you interview somebody's family, then it's war. And then Monique was like saying, hey, if we was at Crossco's, baby, we'd meet up in the break room. We'd meet up at the cash register, right? If we went in Hollywood, because Monique was like, listen, girl, you did this wrong. And so that's why she came and she dragged Oprah. Now, another piece that I like about the Oprah, how she dragged Oprah, they brought up, you know what I'm saying? I don't have everything in order here. This is on the top of my head, right? They brought up Taraji Henson, right? And she talked about Taraji, and she said that a decade ago they had a conversation in her trailer. And Taraji was like, you know what I'm saying? Keep at it, keep building your resume, and you'll get up the next time. And Monique was like, no, we cannot wait. We got to do it now, because you will be waiting till the next time till you die, and the next time will never come, right? And Monique was like, I don't blame her, because that's how I felt. I felt the same way. That's how I was trained. That's how I was taught. That just keep building your resume. You get them the next time. You get them the next time. You get them the next time. And the next time never came. The next time literally never came. They always say, we'll get them the next time. We get them the next time. If you're a follower of Monique, she literally said this multiple times, where she would have white managers and agents was like, okay, Monique, we'll get them the next time. No. And so when it comes to Taraji, she was like, listen, Taraji should have never auditioned. Like, how can you say you auditioned, but you was handpicked? Once Taraji auditioned for that part, they knew they had you. They knew they could treat you like crap. You should have never auditioned. If they handpick you, there is no need for an audition. The reason why Monique was so calling out Oprah is because Oprah is the producer, and she says she helped handpick these people. Right? Your name is on your bread. You're promoting this and everything else, and you treated them bad. You treated them unfairly. I mean, and then this is the piece that I like about Monique. Club Shay Shay, he was like, listen, why do you think the community didn't embrace you, but they're embracing Taraji? She said, because it was the messenger. I'm a big, fat woman. A big, black, fat woman, right? And that was the reason they didn't want to hear from me, right? But Taraji is saying the same thing. Now, she said Taraji should never cry, because you never want to let the little girls coming up see you crying, seeing you broken. But I understand, but you should have, cried. Because in so many words, what Monique was alluding to, that Taraji don't have a husband at home. And she don't, right? She don't have a husband. So she's broken. And the gag is, she was like, how would you write a love letter to Oprah when we seen the tension? We seen that it was some tension there. We know that Oprah mistreated you. But because you can look at my life and you're not willing to be blackballed, you would just take it. And see, I was saying the same thing. There was no need for Taraji to come out and say something. The reason why, and I said this in the previous episode, the reason why Monique is different than Taraji is because Monique named names. She said, the reason why they received, I named names. I didn't just say producer. I named Oprah Winfrey, Lionsgate, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels. She named names. What gets me with Taraji is, who is the people that did not give you the right trailers and food, catering, car service? Why are you not naming the names? If you ain't gonna name the names, keep and put it all out there, shut up. I don't want to hear it because, like, you didn't say the names. And then, and this the gag, and this went on the interview. This is playing in my mind right now. Oprah, like Taraji was talking, I believe the other host, that one that played Sophia, she was like, we didn't even have, like, we always in the same room. I think Taraji said we all in the same room, and we didn't have separate trailers. And Oprah was like, well, I heard about it. And Taraji was like, Miss O, we got to fix this. Excuse me? Like, why do Oprah have to fix this? It should have been already done. It should have. I mean, when the movie was green, like, you know you got to have trailers for all these people. You know you got to have them as rental car. This would have never happened with an A-list star white actresses. This doesn't make sense. But because this is Oprah, we give her a pass because she's a black woman and she's a billionaire. No, baby, she's just as evil as those white people. Because you should have already had this done. And I'm glad that Oprah is getting dragged. I'm glad that she's getting exposed. I'm glad that people is waking up to her evil. Because there is black evil billionaires, just like there are some black evil white billionaires. Evil is evil, baby, no matter the color. Because what gets me with Oprah, that you know you was wrong. You know you was wrong. And I kept hearing rumors, and I heard that a little birdie told me, a little birdie said there was a conference call with Warner Brothers and Oprah. Oprah, pretty much to sum up that phone call, because I didn't hear it, I just heard what happened. They dragged Oprah, and they blame Oprah for that movie flopping. They blame her for it flopping. Oprah tried to defend herself. Oprah really needed this to work so they can fund her other movie projects, because Oprah don't want to put all her money up. She want the big studio. She want big budgeted movies. She don't want to go to the Tyler Perry route where she's putting all her resources in it. She want a big studio and she get all the credit, right? She just want to slap her name on it. And it flopped. Henrietta Lacks, that movie flopped too. So she had flop after flop after flop. But what gets me is they tried to turn it on Taraji. Or Taraji is the reason why the movie flopped. No. The reason why the movie flopped, to Oprah, if you're watching this, to Warner Brothers, if you're watching this, to the entire cast of The Color Purple, you know why the movie flopped? It's because you all did false advertisement. You all pretended like this was a drama, and y'all post different clips of it being this just drama only, and you did not echo that this was a musical. You did not echo it enough to the public that this was a musical, because everybody just heard Color Purple and they assumed that it was just a drama like the original one, but just upgraded one, right? When they start singing, people start singing, start breaking out in songs every other scene. They start seeing Tamlin Man doing a split, start shouting. They start seeing Sierra in that headbutton, that slavery head. She starts singing. They start singing. Taraji starts singing, just up and talking about Miss Sealy pants and etc. It threw it off. How do I know that? Because I took one of my homeboys. He was there. He went to sleep. He was knocked out, tired. He was bored. He went to sleep. Everybody else in the theater, they was a musical. What's all this singing? Girl, get to the good part. All this singing, this is trash. I'm sitting there. Now, I like a musical. I love a musical. But the public did not. They didn't enjoy it. So when that first week came out, word travel, girl, ain't nobody want to see no music. We want to see some singing, girl. It's trash. And they stopped going. If it was just a drama only without all that heavy singing, it would have been the highest rated movie in the first quarter in December, right? It would have still been selling out. But the problem is y'all did not promote it correctly. You didn't do it correctly. And then you lied. It's false advertising. You should have never did a musical. Stop listening to Oprah. She ain't no big Hollywood producer. She was a big flat black woman host. She did really good interviewing people. She's not no huge producer. Y'all should have did a study. And I would have told Warner Brothers, don't make this no musical, because black folks is not conditioned to see musicals. A lot of black people is only a certain demographic of black folks that go to Broadway, that go to musicals, a certain sector. Now, if this was Tyler Perry, it would have sold because they are conditioned of seeing Tyler Perry. and I am. They are conditioned of seeing somebody doing a Harlem Shake. They are conditioned of seeing the black folks start shouting and David Mann. Sorry, they are conditioned of seeing that. They didn't want to see that with the color purple because they only had certain songs in the color purple. Sister, you've been on my mind, or God is trying to tell you something. That was it. The most two iconic movies of the films, that was it. Then y'all had Fantasia looking like something went on with her mouth and her chin. And you're a bad man. That what was going on with the lady facial expression? Who told her to just talk? And you were just a bad man. I may be bad, but I know they ugly. The way that she was talking in her mouth, I'm like, who impressed this Fantasia Barrino not to be looking that droopy? How in the world can you sing I Am Here? And your mouth, like, she looking like, what's the man named Bubba? She looking like Bubba from Forrest Gump. And you just an older dog. What? Who told that? If I was the director, I'd be like, cut, fix that mouth, talk regular. Now, I know you really can't read like that, but you got to fix that mouth. I don't know what the way that y'all got to go back to her. It looked like that she put that chin in a sit-up position. I just understand that. Like, what is going on with this lady mouth? It's giving like she was on her way having a stroke. I didn't understand it at all. I was kind of thrown off by that. I was thrown off by Sierra. And I was thrown off just seeing her just random, like she was just a random. It looked like Sierra just drove up to the set. Oh, come on, Sierra, we just want you in the movie. Just come on, sit down. Put the little wrap on. Don't put on no deodorant. Come on, just sit on down. Like, that really gave me a gag. The movie would have been great because the one that played Mr. It was good. I just think the public wasn't into the singer. Anyway, back to Club Shay Shay. I don't know why I got the drug in the color purple, but I did drag Oprah and Warner Brothers, how they dragged her, right? Because they felt like she's to blame. And now they're talking about blackball. Well, Oprah has already said it. She's not working with Taraji anymore. She ain't working with her no more. She felt like Taraji derailed the movie, and it ain't her fault. I feel like Taraji just told the truth. She just had her breaking point. Baby, you weren't being paid fairly, and you was mistreated on the set. Just call it what it is, baby. And see, Gayle King, you trash too, you heifer, because you should have asked that woman more questions. And if it was me sitting there, I said, well, why didn't Oprah have this already done in the first place? Why do you have to call Oprah and tell her? Why wasn't Oprah aware of this in pre-production movies? And Taraji, who can you name the names of the people that mistreated you on the set? But Gayle don't give a darn because she ain't going to throw her friend under the bus. And that's why Oprah Winfrey took her tail to go to the Grammys and promote and uplift Fantasia. See, this is how evil Oprah is. She trying to boost Fantasia up to distract from Taraji B. Henson. Like, she trying to boost her up. Girl, we know you mistreated. And you the reason why Fantasia first movie got derailed because you didn't treat the staff right. You didn't treat the cast right. All them cast members was coming with complaints. And Fantasia, this is why she can't read, because she couldn't read a history book. So I'm not going to blame Fantasia. But when she came out, I'm a Southern girl. I like to drive. You should have never said that with your stupid self. You should have said it is wrong. We should have said everybody should have had car service. And if I wanted to have a choice to do a rental, I would have did it. But you stay on cold. You got your black behind up there and say, well, I'm a Southern girl. I like to drive. That's why you're in the condition that you're in. That's why you went broke multiple times in the music. You went broke because you're too busy kissing butt to your oppressor. And it just so happened your oppressor is Oprah. So don't get it twisted. You was mistreated on the set too. But you don't want to mess up no bag, baby. But you came in Hollywood. Literally, you said, quote, you lost things 3 times in the music industry. You said you went broke 3 times in the music industry, and you had to get paychecks from other entertainers that had money. So don't try it. And the reason why you really got screwed, because you can't comprehend and you couldn't read. And I can still tell you have a reading problem and a comprehension problem because you can't comprehend that these people are being mistreated, and you're being mistreated because you wasn't paid fairly either. If they paid Taraji B. Henson pennies, I know you got half of a penny. So let's not go there. That triggered me when I heard her saying about, I don't mind doing a rental car. Girl, have several seats. I'm glad you didn't get an Oscar because I'm glad because the way that mouth was given, it wasn't given Oscar. It was given like you need some more acting classes on how to make your facial expressions be more believable. I don't know because you wasn't playing a stroke patient. You was playing a DV patient getting whooped by Mister, and your mouth was looking like that. Girl, bye. Now back to Monique. So she's dragging Taraji, right? She disagreed with how Taraji is sounded because she felt like Taraji should have came out more. So then we done for that. Then we get to DL Hughley. Now she have told this story before that she did an interview with DL Hughley on the DL Hughley show. DL wasn't there. His co-host was interviewing Monique. And they was like, well, we're gonna play a game. Would you pick your husband sleeping with Lee Daniels with a condom on, or somebody else, some other names, right? And Monique was offended. Like, what are you alluding to? Like, why y'all asking me that question? Because they all assume that Monique's husband is gay, right? So they all just drag in Monique's husband. And so she called DL like, what? So what? Very negative. So Monique got her attorney on the phone, sent a cease and desist, and the interview never aired. That's where her beef stems from DL Hughley. Now they do a show together. Now contractually, she was the headliner. DL was upset. He showed up to the venue late. He was supposed to go before Monique. He showed up when Monique was supposed to go on as a headliner. And then Monique had to show up because contractually she had to show up at that time. She had to get on stage. She said she don't feel like the audience should wait. Because when I went to Monique's show, she headlined. She was on time, baby. She was not late. She let Corey B, a comedian in Chicago. She opened up, did wonderful. And then Monique went on right up after that. On time, didn't miss a beat. And only thing that was late when I went to go see her at the comedy club, Uptown Comedy Club in Atlanta, is my chicken tenders was late. But other than that, Monique wasn't late. Anyway, so she literally got up there and she let DL have it, right? And that's what it stems from with DL Hughley. And the thing about DL Hughley is he said very nasty things about Monique. He has said nasty things about her previous and other stuff. And Monique is collecting this data. You cannot deal with a woman. All she does is read and comprehend and picks up information. She loved to read. So she reminded me of myself because I read a lot of books and I watch a lot of content. So I catch on to a lot of stuff. So when she aired DL, he wasn't prepared for it. She aired him, and she aired him. She aired this man because he came for her family, so she started coming for his family, right? But people, again, they are so conditioned to believe that Monique is the problem, and they don't want to go back to the history because half of them don't read history, so they ain't gonna go back. They're just gonna go back what DL has said, and DL is not this person in the community. He cheated on his wife and got the woman pregnant and had a baby by the woman. So again, let's go. DL ain't no good man in the community. He don't really love his family. He might love them now, but you cheated on your wife. So you ain't no good lover of black women. If you cheat on your wife, you hate black women. You hate your wife. So you couldn't sit here that you're this so powerful and stupid, and you got the audacity to talk about Trump being a cheater, and you cheated on your wife and got the heifer pregnant. You dumb, unfunny, weird-looking man. In my humble opinion, I'm Team Monique all day. So, drag DL. Then DL, he's come out and he want to drag Monique. We'll get into that whole nother day, right? Now we got that whole thing with DL and how DL was wrong. And he was wrong. He should have performed before Monique. Monique is the headliner. And Lunel got up there. She's another pick-me with bad knees. She can't even do stand-up comedy no more. She got to do half of her stand-up section. She had to stand and she had to sit down because she got bad knees. When you kissing too much butt and on your knees for these other people, you're nothing but a pick-me. Because even Lunel got up and said, who cares who's the headliner? I go up at any time, but you're not Monique. Lunel, you're Lunel. You're living in Cat Williams' shadow. Okay, you never was a headliner of a movie, an Oscar winner, and all that type of stuff. So don't try it. Just worry on your knees because you need 2 knee replacements and stop worrying about Monique. Because contractually, if you're the headliner, you go on last. That is what a headliner is if you're the only headliner, right? If it was 2 headlines, a difference. DL was wrong because he put out a lie and tried to make Monique look like the bully man or the boogeyman, just like how he lied and said he faithful to his wife. He was out there getting some coochie from a side chick and got her pregnant. Let's stop playing there. Now, so she up here just dragging these people, and she has every right to drag them. Then she gets on to, and these are like my points. She gets on to that. She gets on to Will Packer, right? Now, you already know she did the movie Almost Christmas, right? It was a director. What was that director name? I couldn't get his name. I know he does a lot of plays, you know. That director, right? And Will Packer was the producer. So she felt disrespected with Will Packer because Will Packer was coming to the set trying to give orders and try to overstep the authority of a director. And Monique was like, no, you would never do this with Steven Spielberg. So don't do this to this brother. You're disrespectful. You don't never give a direction to the cast, overstepping the authority of the director. You're confusing the cast. Then Monique started to go in and really going in on Will Packer because they were talking about how she was supposed to be the cameo, right? For the aunt character do cameo, but it started to change, more cameo. And she said, you know what? I'm going to play games because I don't want to embarrass my friend, the director of this movie. So I'm going to just do it. And she said almost 100% of that was all improv. Like all of it was improv. So, and she pretty much made to become a star in the movie. And so then they get to the trailers, right? She said it smelled bad. They was feeding us slop. And she said the trailers blew up. She said the trailers blew up. They said, you know, I can really go. And she said she's going to show the receipt. She said the trailers blew up. She said we smelled gas. And they just ignored it when they was making. She said like that. They said they didn't care. And then she said Will Packer went into the trailer. This is before it blew up. Went into the trailer and Monique assistant had her shoes off. Now this is Monique trailer, right? This is Will Packer assistant, right? His assistant or producer, or whatever, showed up. You shouldn't have your shoes off or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And Monique was like, no, don't talk to my people like that. This is my trailer. Go get Mr. Will Packer. So Mr. Will Packer went up and he said, listen, I'm the head nigga in charge. I'm the HNIC. And she said, who are you the head nigger of? If you the head nigga of Danny Glover, he's a legend. Who are you the head nigga of? Right? So you can see, and this is why Will Packer was throwing shade at Monique many, many years ago, but he didn't want to show that the trailers blew up. You didn't want to show that you were serving the cast slop because these black people, they know we can do that to them. They're black. They should just be happy that somebody is giving them an opportunity. That's how they feel. So I get up there. Was it Danny Glover? Who was the tried to say that to Danny Glover? Okay, so she talked about that, and I got to D.L. Hughley, Tiffany Haddish, Oprah, Tyler Perry. Like she get into the Oprah and Tyler Perry about promoting the film, Precious, and how Oprah agreed, and how the recording of Tyler Perry, she said, listen, I record him because he said when the movie Boo come out that he was going to clean it up. He said, hey, you got the streets hot, and they record. I listened to record over and over. Tyler Perry said, I did put out a lie. I lied on you. I said that you was difficult. I was mad at you, and I put out that rumor. And I'm gonna do right by you when Boo come out. After Boo come out, I'm gonna prove because y'all got the streets hot. I'm going to come out and clear your name. He never did it. And I look at Tyler Perry another way because I look at how you treat black people. And even when it comes to with Taraji, he said, I paid Taraji the most money she ever had. And Monique said, but did you pay Taraji fairly? The answer to that question is no. Just because you give her $1 million, that's the most she ever had. But did you pay her fairly? Did you pay her fairly? No, not according to her resume and her accolades. So I just want people to understand that Tyler Perry is a businessman and he don't pay his actors fairly. He don't. He lowballed them because he give them just enough that it's the more they ever had, but he don't give them what they really are deserving of. So, and then he just don't, right? So I love how she came out and she said how Tyler Perry, they went to the Hoodies Award, and it was backstage, and she had her skirt, and then he did this to his team, and they all despaired out. I said, that's the type of power I want. I just always want to do that. I always want to do a hand gesture or something. Maybe my eye twitch that way. I can't be the eye twitch that way because my eye twitch on purpose. They'll be leaving out of the room every day. But I would love to have that power when they all disperse. Maybe that's power. I would love to have that. And you disperse. Okay? I would love to have that. So anyway, that's some good power. Anyway, but I feel like he was giving her some bull crap because he said, Monique, I think you should promote the movie. If you promote the movie, you get nominated, you get $1 to $2 million. If you win, you get $3 to $5 million. In that conversation, he said, well, I thought it was happening. There is no black actress that have got those type of paydays, not even the great Halle Berry. There is no actress that's getting $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 million movie deals. Name one. Name one that is getting 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 billion. Name the ones that got as an Oscar Award winner that have gotten them type of paydays. If anybody should have gotten it, it should have been Whoopi Goldberg, and she still got a hustle on The View. So there is no black actress that are getting those type of pay deals. 8, 9, $10 million. No. Taraji should be getting those deals. And that was one of her grievances. She said, I haven't seen a raise since I did some movie that she did since she did Jackie or some type of movie. She said way back there. That was almost 10 years ago. She said she haven't seen a raise since. So this is the gag. They don't pay people the way they should. I just don't understand how when people are not waking up, you got to know your worth. And if you don't know your worth, you will always get used. You gotta know your worth. And then people say it's a team. It ain't whatever team you get. She had white when it came to Monique, baby. And this is about her husband. And she didn't say this on the air, but she said it in multiple interviews. Everybody come against Sydney. And if they don't know, and Monique have said it, she said, I have seen the most money. He have negotiated the most money I've ever seen. Better than those top white agents that had some of the Hollywood best. I have received more money because of my husband. Because he stood up with, because ain't nobody gonna stand up for you like your husband if you have a good one, right? He stands up for her. And the media always got to go against him because they hate to see a black man treat his black woman fairly and fight for her. They don't like that. Even black women in the industry don't like that because they don't have that at home. They don't have nobody, a black husband, advocating for them in the boardroom because ain't nobody going to advocate for you. I said the same thing about my grandmother. You know, advocating for her care. I'm a family member. Advocate for her care. And you have other black people in the family pissed off about that. So they want her in her shit and piss. Not me. Because if I step foot and if I smell the shit and piss, she gonna be clean in my presence. You're not gonna just have her sitting no shit and piss. I'm going to advocate for her. Okay? So I just felt like, and they're not used to that. They're not used to seeing someone that is advocating for people. I have to fight family members, and I will fight you physically and with these words for mine. Because ain't nobody gonna be sitting no shit and piss, especially if you my family member and you in some shit and piss, or we gonna have some problems. We gonna have some problems. And if it don't get done quickly and in a timely manner, you really gonna have some problems. And you might as well get my bail money, get my bail money ready. Because I don't play in my mind. Because I don't like to smell piss and shit. And I especially don't like to smell it on my family member. I'm going to just say that it is there. And let's move on. Now, when it comes to Mr. Sydney standing up for his wife, he have every right to do so. A man's supposed to do that. A man's supposed to stand up for his wife. A man's supposed to lead. A man's supposed to be the head. A man's supposed to do it. So I just don't understand when a man do it, it's a problem. And you get these bitter black women that do that. Just like her best friend, the one that got that podcast with Sherry Shepherd. What is her name? What's that woman name that played into Friday? She played the whore. Why tried to sleep with Craig? What's her name? What is her name? Oh, what is that woman's name? She does the podcast Funny Mamas with Sherry Shepherd. What is that lady's name? What is that lady's name? Somebody name her name in the chat. Anyway, she was throwing out shade at Monique, and she wasn't mentioned in the interview because she's irrelevant. But I remember this, and I want to say it. So she was throwing out all this shade at Monique and saying that Monique is like one of the fifth Supremes and blah, 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 because she was Team Oprah, right? And Kim Whitley, Monique spilled some tea. I would never forget, I would listen to the podcast, right? She said Kim Whitley tried to sleep with my husband. Kim Whitley tried to make a pass at Sydney. And Sydney must have told Monique, and Sydney didn't want her to repeat that. She said she tried to make a pass at my husband. And then Sherry Shepherd tried to diss Monique. Oh, she's so difficult. Spreading that same lie that Tyler did. He's spreading the same lie. So you never trust Sherry, because she came out, Sherry Shepherd, backdoor Wendy Williams for her job. So you never trust one of them. And she's another single one. Because her husband got her pregnant and put her on child support, and she still got to pay all that stuff. So, of course, she can diss Monique and say her husband difficult because she ain't got no husband. Only thing that Sherry Shepherd got, she got money that she got to send to her husband. Child support payment, etc. All type of money, whatever. But I like how, because they start with her, but then Monique finish it. It's a problem. These people be one of this. And Kim Whitley, what gets me, she's another pick-me. I just can't stand pick-me women or pick-me men. I can't stand them. They make my head itch. They just pick-me's, knowing they're being mistreated, they're not being paid fairly, and they're single. Like Kim Whitley is a single woman. She ain't got no husband. You ain't got no husband. You too busy being a pick-me. Anyway, so Monique started talking about being a boss woman, and she said she was lonely. You know, she was saying this is her third marriage, and she was talking about how her husband put her in her place and said, listen, stop using your abuse of being violated with your brother as a crutch. Right now, you had no control when you was a little girl and a teenager. You had no control. But now you're an adult, so you have complete control of your life. You have complete control of your attitude, of how you treat me. You can't treat me that way. Because Monique had been conditioned of treating men wrong. She had the bag. She the HBIC, baby. She signed checks. So, but she had a real man, and she put her in her place. Hey, you may be a boss out there on the Parkers, but over here, you my wife. You leave that boss stuff out in the front door, and Sydney put her in her place, and it helped her. Sydney was advocating for her to lose weight. So when you have a husband, though you are, quote unquote, the breadwinner, but Sydney brings something to the table because he managed you to bring in more bread. And he had trained you to be a better wife. There's nothing wrong with being trained. But to certain women that don't have a husband, using that word training, it go, I'm not no dog, but you're lonely. So I just feel that, you have somebody that's not being a king, is being a scrub. So he demands, because a real man is not going to allow a woman to boss him around and disrespect him, and he don't say it. If he allow that, that ain't no real man, baby. You got a weak water man, and I can't deal with that. You're not going to come and talk to me, disrespect, absolutely not. I just can't deal with that. So I love how she uplift her husband, is because he's bringing in the work. I love how they brought up Lee Daniels. And this is one of my favorite parts of the interview, is when she talked about T.S. Madison. I love the fact that she mentioned T.S. Madison, a trans woman. How T.S. Madison said, Lee Daniels is my friend. And T.S. Madison was the first one to get Lee Daniels on the phone and made that right. And Monique was like, if that's your friend, you tell your friend that he was wrong, because she said he was wrong. So T.S. Madison, to her credit, got on the phone with Lee Daniels, and she brokered that relationship, right? I want to apologize to T.S. Madison because I felt like she was inserting herself. That's how I felt, because I didn't know all the information. But I was wrong. I stand corrected. I apologize to her, right? In that instance, because she did not have to go to Lee Daniels and put her friendship at risk to stand up for another Black woman. But because she had integrity in that particular situation, I have to give her flowers, because it ain't too many people that will literally go out for you, advocate for you when they have nothing to gain from it. Nothing to gain from it, right? So she did that, and they worked on the relationship, and it's fine ever since. And I love, to Lee Daniels' credit, I love that how not only did he apologize to Monique, he also apologized to Monique's family, her children, her husband. I give that brother his credit for that. And I love that because I feel like if you do somebody wrong, not only apologize to that, but if they have children, apologize to, because they're going to suffer too. If Monique is suffering, the entire house is suffering. And then when it comes to like Tyler Perry, the other part of it, she said the reason why I'm always mentioning this because my family suffered financially because of the lie. When you put difficult on a Black woman, that's like the kiss of death. I will never forget it when Will Smith was interviewing Aunt Viv, the one that played Aunt Viv, the dark skin, right? She said, when you put that difficult rumor out on me, you know that was a kiss of death. And she suffered because of that lie that Will put out. And he had to make it right. Thank God Will made it right. And ever since he made it right, you seen that woman started playing more movies and shows. I wish Tyler Perry would just make it right. Get on the phone and make it right. Apologize to the woman. You were wrong. Yet you got a studio that doesn't take away your successes, your wins of being one of the first, being just one of the most powerful Black men in Hollywood. But in this instance, you treated Monique wrong. Just apologize. Lay down your ego. Lay down your billionaire status and just apologize to this woman publicly because you put out the damn lie that she was difficult. And you went and you was recording on tape saying it. Just apologize to the woman. I don't understand that. You put the lie out. She got you on tape. Just put it out. And this is the thing when she brought up Tiffany Mill. And I love Tiffany Mill, right? Only one song I like about her, because I heard it on polls. I like that one song. The rest of Stephanie Mills songs, I can't understand her singing, but I don't like. But there's only one song I like. I heard it on polls. I listen all the time. Anyway. So she get on the phone, she make it right. But before we get to her, she talked about Al Sharpton. And Al Sharpton said, oh, you my daughter, blah, blah, blah. That brother was wrong. So she didn't really hear nothing back from her. And the next time she seen Al Sharpton, he started talking about getting on Tyler Perry Jack. And I would tell Monique, never trust Al. He will be sold out to the highest bidder. I respect Al Sharpton, the old Al Sharpton, when he was really advocating for people. But this new Al Sharpton, baby, he can be bought with a price. Some things he don't say. He still don't call out the Biden administration for paying Black-owned media. They're not paying us fairly. With the ad agencies, you don't see Al talking about that. You don't see Al talking about advocating that the Biden administration make more loans available, more grants available for first-time homeowners in the Black community. I feel like that is sure a problem. I feel like Al Sharpton, I feel like he don't do enough to speak on our behalf. But the old Al Sharpton, I respect. He did a lot of good. But this new one, I'm not so sure about the new Al Sharpton, the skinny version. I loved him when he was fat. But when he started losing that weight, baby, that mind started to lose, but it got me lost. I just don't understand Al Sharpton. I just don't get it, how he operate. But what he did for Monique, did that. If this is true, I got to hear Al side. He was wrong. It will not surprise me with Al Sharpton because he said a lot. He does a lot. And some stuff I agree with Al. Sometimes I don't because I feel like this man is a spineless leader. He used to have a lot of spine back in the day. But it's hard to try to talk against your or talk against your oppressor when you're on your oppressor network. Come on. Because you on MSNBC, but when the last time you spoke up for Black hosts to get paid fairly in media? Because your show, you had a nightly Monday through Friday. They took you down just the one day. You know why? Because you used as the Black token to say, at least, look, we got Al Sharpton. We love Black people. We got Al. He is a civil rights giant. You know what I'm saying? But Al don't speak for all Black people, and he's a token Black. Because when the last time he called out people not being paid fairly? When the last time you see Al really lead a protest of these networks paying Black hosts doing the same damn job and doing it better than their white counterparts, but they're not getting the same type of check? They're getting less than. I never seen Al really spoke up against that. And actually, Al spoke against other networks like, what's the other man named? Byron Allen, when he tried to negotiate a deal with Comcast, he called out Al Sharpton. Anyway, but we ain't gonna go there with Al. Because I get a little triggered talking about Al Sharpton. So let me move on, okay? Anyway, so I think Monique have really, really just went there talking about Al, talking about Tyler Perry, how much she lost all this money. She went on talking about the Parkers and how much money the Parkers made and how she never had to audition. And she's not doing that to brag. She just never had to audition. And she was just in the right place at the right time. She was at the right place at the right time, and it worked for her career. But the problem is she wasn't paid fairly. The Parkers, she have sued the Parkers, and I'm glad she didn't talk about the lawsuit because you can't talk about an open case. But the Parkers, they lowballed them. They only paid them, Candace Vaughn and Monique, $55,000 per episode. That's low compared to the white counterparts. I will never forget it. It was a show when the Parkers was on WCIU. It was the Parkers, and I know it was a fat white man and a white woman. I forgot the name of their show. But they was on the same network, and they were getting paid more, and the Parkers had higher ratings and were getting paid less. They were getting paid less, and that white show that with less ratings than the Parkers was getting higher paychecks per episode. So, you know what I'm saying? So Monique was talking about how she didn't understand because there is no Hollywood one-on-one. I talk about negotiating the deal. And so this is why I am a student of the game, right? I'm learning from the people that came before me and listening to them because I know I'm going to be in those industries, right? I know I'm going to elevate in the next whatever. I'm gonna be in some higher spaces, and I don't want to go there uneducated. I want to go there and know. I want to be around the best people. So let me look at lawyers and not just depend on my lawyer. Let me listen to what Roland Martin said, and let me make sure I read the contract and I understand what's going on, so I can catch something that the lawyer may miss. Because I learned that from Roland Martin. He had a lawyer draw up a contract and read a contract. And he found something in the contract that the lawyer missed. So, baby, at the end of the day, you better make sure you know business before you step foot in the music business, the television business. You better understand because it's business first. Because I don't care how talented you is, and I learned this from T.S. Madison when she said it. Baby, if you a bad business person, you can be just as talented. You're going to be a broke, talented person. You got to understand business. And this is the problem. And there's no excuse for us now. We got the internet, we got podcasts, we got books. One thing that we got is PhD information on how not to get screwed in the industry. We can just listen to the people that came before us and the people that's still living. They're saying the same thing. They're dropping books and dropping gems. Only thing we got to do is pick it up and read it. It's not a hidden thing anymore. The problem is nobody's going to force that knowledge. You got to go and get it and read it and drop those gems and understand business. And I understand that even though I talk a lot of mess on the internet. But baby, when it comes to my business, when a lot of my business mindset, I don't just take anything. I've been on, I've had opportunities presented to myself, and it didn't make no sense financially. I'm not going to do something for free just to say I'm on this particular network or I'm doing this particular thing. If I'm not getting a check, I don't want to do it. Because if I do this, you can just let Wiley do it. He just want the clout. No, I don't. I want the coins. Screw the clout. Because the clout is temporary. Clout come and go. But if you give me the right type of coins, I can always feed my family. I can't feed my family, my nieces and family, mothers and my nieces and nephews with clout. I can't feed them with clout. You know what? We're going to McDonald's. We're not going to pay with Apple Pay. We're going to play with some clout. Hello, yes, sir, at McDonald's. Can I get 3 chicken nugget meals and 3 large Sprites and 4 smoothies? How you going to pay, sir? I'm going to play with clout. They're going to laugh at me after that. So I just love the fact that we have to understand business. So Monique was saying that she got screwed, and now she's speaking up, and she's fighting back. So she talked about Netflix, and she talked about the breakfast nubs, because she said how the Breakfast Club took phone calls when they called me Duck in the Day. But when I negotiated a deal with Netflix and they settled, crickets. They did it. Everybody talked about Monique. But when it was time when Monique got the contract, got the settlement, got the special, and got her money, nobody said nothing. They all, it was crickets, crickets. Nobody said anything. They did not create that same noise. And I was so glad that I was there seeing Monique live doing that taping. It was amazing. Even though they had to throw out this drunk that was disrupting the thing before Monique hit the stage when Corey B was up there. And he was pissy drunk. He was gay too, gay in the bottom, probably the bottom. And so they kicked him out. They escorted him out. He was falling all over the people, loud, disrupting the show, and they kicked him out. So he paid all that money. He had a better seat than me. He was one row. Hey, I think he was one row ahead of me, and he got kicked out. But Monique did a damn good job because the reason, and I said this on camera, and whenever they release the footage, I guess when I become famous, they will release it, or more mainstream, they'll release it. But I did sign a release form, and I said this about Monique. I said that Monique is a testament of you keep fighting, you will have that win. And something else I said the Black community never abandoned her. We never abandoned her. When she did her show, this is why she was able to feed her family. Because we always, with our comedy show, the Black community as a collective, we stood by Monique. You know what I'm saying? So I remember saying that in there. Now that never aired. None of that aired. But I remember saying it. I remember I signed a release form. I remember I got up there and I signed a release form of that. I remember that. Okay. Hello. Yes. I'm not taking phone calls right now. I'm still live. All right, thank you. Okay. But yes. So I love that about the business part. But Monique I give this interview 2 thumbs up all the way because Monique did it. It was not only was it spilling tea, but it was educational. It was a masterclass of how to move in this business and about the dark side. And Monique is still here to enjoy the fruits of her labor. Some people, they never get to get a deal. They just speak against the system and they die broken. Monique did not have that story. She's still fighting. She's still advocating. And her comedy special was the best. My name is Monique. It was amazing. Her being in special ed, we have similarities. I was in special ed as well. She talked about her family. She talked about they wasn't that great and etc. The same currently thing with my family because I'm in that same place that you try to make things work as with your blood relatives and they're just keeping you down. They don't want nothing better for themselves. They are complacent. I have text messages of family members begging for money. And I'm talking about family members that that's in their 50s. They just beg and they will send me cash apps. Now I never gave it to them, but because I have a show, they just think I'm rich. They don't want to work. They don't want to do nothing. And I'm talking about family members from other states. Always send me cash app requests, and it always get denied and blocked because get up and do something. Like I'm not gonna fund your dysfunction. I'm not gonna do it. Get up and get you a job. And I understand because I used to talk about people that cut family members off. And I apologize for that because I feel like some family members need to be cut off because they're nothing but death. They're nothing but leechers. They're nothing but weights. They're holding you back. It's some family members are just that way. They don't want anything. I've went and seen some family members. They're in worse shape when I left Chicago. Now that I came back, they was in worse shape then. Now they're in worse shape. I'm like, dang, like I really thought you did have something. You ain't got nothing. You're like, come on, like I just don't understand that. But I get it. Some people just in this earth just don't want nothing for themselves, and you have to get away from those people and don't do too. And it's okay. It could be your own mom. I'm in the same situation. They don't want nothing. They just don't want it. And sometimes you just gotta just love them afar. And I was always guilty. That's what made me come back because people would get in your head like, oh, these are your family. Why are you so distant? But now I understand. Okay, I got to go back to that because you don't want nothing. You my aunt. Yeah, you my mama. Yeah, you this. But you don't want nothing out of life. You just don't want nothing. You just the walking dead. And I just can't be around dead people because spirit do leap. And I don't want that spirit of deadness, that spirit of not dreaming, that spirit of not being a go-getter to jump out on me. So I got to cut you loose. I'm like, I already gave people a timeline. I said, baby, in a month, I got to cut you loose. Like, y'all just don't want nothing. Like, I just can't. And I have to cut you off. Like, meaning that you have to send me an email. Like, hey, send me an email. I don't want to get on the phone. I just don't even want to get on the phone with you because you're deaf. We get in the email and I respond to you and everything. And you're not going to know where I'm at. Like, you don't know. They still don't even know where I live in Dallas. You don't need to know. I don't even want you pulling up because you're number deaf. But we can't communicate in an email because I ain't got an assistant. But you will get an email. Just get an email because you're deaf and you don't want nothing. And I can't be around people that just don't want nothing out of life. And it could be on your own family. And sometimes you have to build a new community. And I've built a new community of family members that are not blood. And they're successful people and they are good people. and it's sad that you can't have that same experience with blood relative. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. But nevertheless, this interview was off the chain. I give it 2 thumbs up. It was the best interview ever that I've watched from Club Shay Shay, better than Cat Williams. Cat Williams was good, but it was better for me because I'm a huge Monique fan. I love her. I'm upset. It was 2, and I know I'm gonna get my picture and my moment with Monique, but it was 2 moments. I had a moment. I had a moment to take a picture. I got starstruck. I couldn't move. And then one of her people said, "Wiley, don't leave. Monique is gonna come out." And because I had the phone out because they locked our phones up and they gave our phone back outside, I didn't go back inside. I just went on to the club because I wanted to be a gay. I wanted to be out. I want to show my bisexual stuff. At the club, it was Halloween and everything. And it's Atlanta, and I'm only here for one night because I only could afford to be there for one night and one night at a hotel because money was funny. So I just wanted to go and turn up and see Brandon Carson, see Rico Pugh, and I want to be a gay. So the gayness came out like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, but that was could have been my moment. But nevertheless, it wasn't meant or whatever. I got to understand it. But I know I will see and meet Monique and get her on the show. Now, we're going to move on from that. Now, we're going to open up the phone lines, but we will move on. So now we got to talk about Fox Soul. We got to talk about Armand Wiggins, Al, and Claudia. Now, in this episode, I give it a 0. The reason why I give it a 0, because it was technical difficulties. Like on YouTube, it was technical difficulties. On foxsoul.com, technical difficulties. And I kept saying, you guys, things happen. This is a live show. I have done a show with technical difficulties, so I understand. I get it. But it was technical difficulties. But it did not stop me from dropping an article today and really giving Armand Wiggins his props, right? From my sources, they're telling me that he's highly impressing, like the producers over there and the people over there. They're really loving Armand. He's really shining bright like a diamond. And he's just really good. It fits him. So we wrote a beautiful article, and we released it to the public today. It did really good. Moderators, make sure y'all drop that article because we post on the community wall. Make sure you drop that article on there. And moderators, make sure you drop articles, especially when I talk about a subject that we wrote about on the wileythetroll.com. So he's doing really well. I felt like he's a great add-on to the show. I felt that the public love him. I felt like the public hate him, which is good because you're still going to watch because he's so entertaining. He challenged Claudia. He challenged Al. They challenged each other. It's good fun, entertainment. I mean, yesterday, he dragged Claudia friends and they started dragging his criminal record. He's not afraid to be messy about himself. He's not afraid to go there. He's not afraid to let these people have it. Like today, he kind of like threw Black China under the bus, but this is to be expected. Like you got to have on a good show. But unfortunately, it was glitchy out of this world, but the commercial was playing fine. But I did hear from producers that it's recorded and they said tomorrow it will be better. They say something with the system. It wasn't syncing right on YouTube. So hopefully I can come back and rewatch it when they re-air it tomorrow, and I will do my review about each segment, but it was glitchy. But I didn't stop watching because Armand Wiggins was on there. He got my view until it ended. I feel like a lot of people were saying, shout out to my audience. Y'all was in the chat, hashtag the Wiley Show with emojis. It was really good. Y'all was there. Y'all was really in that chat today. And I love that. I love the show. I felt like the show was like the Monday night and Tuesday was great. Wednesday, not so much because it was glitchy. So I'm going to do my review about it tomorrow once I see an updated version without the glitch. But I love when I went in the chat. It was like, who is Wiley? People was DMing me, etc. I feel like that was an honor because we fight so very hard for it. Like we was in the chat. We brought our people in there and it was awesome. Like great vibes. It was greatness. And people was really giving me my props saying, hey, Wiley, I love how you are supporting Armand on the show and writing articles on the show. Someone with a blue check blue check on Instagram, I would say this. They got about 3 million followers on Instagram. They got about 3 million. This person said, Wiley, even though you shady, and I like your shade because you talk about everybody, but the way how you show maturity and show that you're good, how you really echoed Armand. Like there is nobody else that have been promoting him about this show. Nobody. And she said, I watch a lot of people. And I was shocked that this person watched the Wiley Show. Very entertaining entity. But I felt like I had to because I've always done it. And so why stop now? So when he have this door open, why not broadcast it? Because I help elevate that. I have brokered that by just my words. Words are powerful. And I test things out to say, is people really watching or people really reading the wilderthetroll.com? Exactly. They're reading it because they booked Armand Wiggins on the show. So I know people are reading it. And so I see the numbers, right? I don't care if it's say 600 listeners, 600 readers, right? If the right 600, that's all that counts, baby. You only need is one, and word will travel. But I loved him on this because I feel like it's a great moment. And also, I watched his page. I was on his X page on my Fufu account. I'm still on the Fufu. And you know you really love somebody if you're still on the Fufu and still promote them, child. It ain't too many people that do that. So I was on the Fufu account. And on the Fufu account, they literally he posted an old clip of him back in 2016 of him with the flat screen TV and the wall, and him was drinking the margarita cans and stuff like that, and it was like recording live. I remember all of this, right? And people say, "Oh, why did he tell us?" I said, "That's how far back I got." And you see the evolution, you see the talent, you see what he was doing, right? When he didn't have no money. Now you see an upgrade. He always liked hats, he liked nice shirts, you know what I'm saying? It was really dope. You see the cord in the back, you see, you know what I'm saying? Literally. And he said something, he said 2016 versus 2024, how it all started, hashtag recording live, and how it's going get in here, like, because he used to open up recording live from a secret location. He used to do the hashtags, etc. And people live for that moment. So you really see the evolution of it. And a lot of people want what Armand have now, but they don't want the flagging, the taking down his Instagram pages, People didn't believe in his dream. His father said, give that up, go back and work a regular job. No, even his family didn't believe in it, right? And now everybody wants that. A lot of people that look at him now, they all want it, but you don't want the struggle, right? So he struggled a lot. He's not an overnight success. He's still not at the moment that he should be, but he will be, is the key, if he keep going. So I think that was such an honor, because I was one of the ones that was echoing that, right? Back in the day, I said, you're going to be successful. You're going to be iconic in this business. I said, you got to get on YouTube. YouTube is where it's at. And that was before like live super chats and members, that was before any of that. Like I believe it was a live feed, but it wasn't what members only and none of that. That didn't happen until later. And now it happened for him. Like he's really getting his moment. And I think that's awesome. I think that's great for that, because we all see the greatness in him. And when I got on the phone with someone, I said, I've always knew he was going to be successful. I've always knew it because I told them. I've told them this countless times, and it's happening for him. And I've loved the fact that his supporters are coming out and really echoing, said he need to have this seat. And I was looking at some of these tweets and I want to read it. Armand is carrying this show. Fox Soul, keep him. I have someone said, you're looking good, Armand, on the show. You've been interesting and funny as always. So they need to give you a contract with this good chemistry ASAP. And another person said, if you haven't watched tonight's TGIF episode of Fox Soul, then you really got to see it. Claudia, Al, Armand gave their own take on Monique after she recently took part in an interview with Shannon. So this was released earlier today. So they said, y'all come over to Fox Soul. Like his people are there. And shout out to one of the producers of Fox Soul, because again, he said, one of the producers there said, Literally, Foxo. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go back. Let me go back to when you mentioned Armand Wiggins. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me a second. Let me a second. Listen, Armand Wiggins has been amazing guest co-hosting TGIF this week on Fox. So he's a natural. I'm glad he was available to rock with us. One of the producers. Now, me, this particular producer, we bumped heads because, and the reason why this Jerome, whatever, reason why we bumped heads is because he got in my business. Don't try to inquire about, well, what did he do about? Don't worry about it. Call me up. Stop trying to kiki with me. And I wanted to say this because I knew you was a producer on Fox Soul, but I didn't give a damn. You got in my business. I'm gonna tell you what business he got in. One of the producers, one of these queens, messy queens. So I wrote an article about Kurt Myers. He passed away, and so I got a source that said it was he kind of OD'd. You know what I'm saying? Had the Rona, OD'd or whatever. So this is what the girls are telling me. So I said allegedly wrote an article, went viral in Dallas, just went viral in Dallas market. And so he goes, Jerome, well, Wiley do, he always blah, blah. Don't say always. How do you know me? We never had a conversation. You never ate dinner with me. We never met on Jack. We never met on A for A. We never went on to a barbecue. So how are you having an opinion about me? And I called him out and I dragged him. And we kept dragging each other. I said, girl, just because you're a producer of Fox Soul don't mean you produce me. You produce them. Don't inquire about me, girl. I'm not going to kiss your butt. Sorry, I kick you in it because if you like he started inquiring about me. And I said, well, damn. And then I had to calm down. I'm like, damn, he know who I am. I didn't even know this man was following me because only time I knew of him when Nicki Minaj dragged him and he wanted to get some sympathy. He said he was going to sue Nicki, but he was being messy with Nicki, antagonizing her, and then when Nicki dragged him for filth and the boss was like doxing him, I'm gonna sue Nicki, but you was antagonizing Nicki. So that's only how I knew of him, and then I started seeing him in the Chasing Atlanta chats, whatever. But I never knew he knew of me. I never knew that until he started inquiring about my business in Dallas. So don't inquire about me in Dallas, honey. You don't know nothing about me. You think you know, you don't. So, and I got them together. All right. I got them together. I don't play games. I'm not going to kiss your butt for no opportunity, baby. I'll kick you in it because you wrong. Don't inquire about me. All right. Anyway, so he did promote Armand Wiggins, said whatever. So I think this is an incredible moment. You know what I'm saying? It's an incredible moment. They said, what's going on? And we're talking about TGIF, you guys. The internet was terrible, but the connection was terrible on the show. But that does not dilute what he had brought to the table. He is the star. Like, he have outshined Claudia and Al. When I watched Dustin play the save, wasn't for me. He was just boring. A ball of just dry dust. When we saw Flame Monroe, a hot mess, I told Flame, you should have brought the dragon. You roasted me. You should have brought that to Fox Soul, to other celebrities. You were playing it safe. You are a dragger. You are old cunt. And you wasn't bringing that, but then you want to get all cunty and sassy and drama on that. So let me show you that I can pull up where you at. Let's stop playing these games. Stop trying to act one way on Fox Soul like you are professional, that you don't go in. But then when you on Instagram, now you want to hang loose and bring your beard and bring your hat. You would have came out better bringing that on Fox Soul than put on that wig. Because if you ain't going to be ghetto, then stay at home. Stop. If you ain't going to be real, then stay at home. So that's what got me with her. Because she did not bring that to TJ. She was definitely dry. She showed up talking her mess about fucking Neva on Tasha K show. Then she was talking her mess about Wiley. But then when she went on Fox Soul, only thing she doing she was dry. She was boring. This is why that podcast is on their way out of there. Only reason why she got that podcast, because she fit the T demographic. They trying to keep a quota. They need one T, and she fits it. She crossing out a T. She dotting the I over there because she a T girl. So, but she just was boring to me. She wasn't funny. And I agree where we could say it about her. She wasn't funny. And so that's what it goes in. Now, when I was in the chat and people were saying you would never be on TGIF, I don't listen to that because people say you would never, ever have over 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. Back when we only had 2,000. We couldn't get past 2,000. You would never have 30,000. We have reached that. Now we're almost at 34. So I've heard a lot of you will never. Armand Wiggins will never be back on your show. He's been back on my show 10 times. Tasha K will never be back on your show. She's been on my show multiple times, right? Leak at Night will never. She's been on my show multiple times. Storm Monroe will never been on my show multiple times. We've done a show together. So that does not faze me with the never. You got to be careful saying that word never. Be careful saying because you're going to eat it up. Because that fuels me to prove you wrong. Because I got to prove you wrong. I work best proving people wrong. I work best proving people wrong. Now, because people were saying about the bully stuff. Like, if I feel like you're trying to be a bully, I will get you together. I don't play good around bully. I will get you together. I ain't going to know when to stop, honey. Like, I ain't going to know when to stop because it triggers me back in my childhood. I will get you together. And it's just been great. And so then people will say, well, your growth is no. I feel as though for my journey, it's my journey. I've learned this because I took a class with this white YouTuber. It was a class about YouTube growth or whatever. And this one YouTube kept on comparing himself to Mr. Beast. Oh, I should be like Mr. Beast and blah, blah, blah. He said, sir, with no disrespect, you're comparing apples and it's two different entities. You cannot compare yourself to the Mr. Beast today. You don't have thousands of employees. You don't have hundreds of millions of dollars for marketing. You don't have all. So stop comparing yourself to that. That's just how the white guy, he said a professional, how I took it is just dumb. You can't compare yourself, your numbers to a man that's the number one YouTuber, got the top leading people in the world working. You can't compare yourself to that man. But, and I said on Zoom, I said, Mr. Beast have not always been that. He started out just like we started out. So we have to find out what work, and we work on those different types of strategies. But, and then I feel like we can't rush it. You just can't rush it. So once we left that meeting, I start doing some ideas, and that will start to make us grow more. So I'm not going to even tell you what the idea is. You pay the money, child. I ain't giving you no more advice. And so we did that. And then we have another class that we're going to do. So, but people, they just kept comparing. And this is a white class. I'm the only black person in the class. And they all compare themselves to Mr. Beast. And I say it's no offense. He's successful or whatever, but I'm not going to compare myself to Mr. Beast. I can't. He have quadrupled the amount of resources. Now, one thing I can learn from Mr. Beast, he have a strong work ethic. The man is still working as though he's just by himself. He's worked very hard for what he got. He's very consistent. And so if anything I can pull from Mr. Beast is consistency, marketing, and etc. So it's different things I can learn from him, but it's not right to compare what I'm doing to what he's doing. It's two different type of styles, right? But you can learn something from Mr. Beast because he's very successful. But you just pull what you can learn from and don't worry about don't worry about the rest. So, but I understand what the public is saying. And I get it, baby. And with that, we are continuing to be consistent. Things that we're changing and things are working. And I'm happy at what we have, and we will continue to build. I just love that. But I just think people want us to focus because of the old Wiley I used to. Well, I should have with it. I just give up. I did that. Back when me and Armand Wiggins was coming up, I was looking, because at that time, it was the Scorpion Show. We going to talk about it. It was the Scorpion Show. It was the Scorpion Show. They was a big thing in town. Listen to me, people. Sit on down. Baby, get your drink. Get your drink, because, baby, we about to get into some. It's on the Scorpion Show, baby. How many people remember the Scorpion Show, baby? I don't live here. Have several seats. The Heart to Heart. How many people remember the Scorpion Show? The kids all in the back, mama all in the back. They on the rooftop, homeless people showing up in the living room. They was the biggest show and I've ever witnessed, and they were gay, right? And so I was so jealous of them, right? At that particular time, I was so jealous because I would go live. I would have 2 people. There was no live, baby. It was pre-recorded. I would have 3 listeners. So I was very jealous. I was a fan. I was jealous. And I got discouraged. I would stop doing it. I said, I don't have the Scorpion Show numbers. I was jealous. And I would just trolled them in the chat and dragged them, and they blocked me. And it was the biggest show ever. They had Tamar, they had Michelle, they had Iyanla Vanzant, they had Brandy, they had all of these celebrities, right? And so, okay, then I learned from Jonathan, this is important to have real friends. And to tell you the truth, this real friend of mine, Jonathan, I'm going to forget it. He said, Wiley, you don't believe in yourself and you're not consistent, even when it's concerning your weight. Because he said, every time you go to the gym, you be in the gym for 1 week, you get a gym membership, you never return. You get a gym every other year, you get a gym membership, you do it about 2 days, you quit. Next year, get a gym membership, 2 days, you quit. If you consistent, you will win. I said, really? You don't need, and Jonathan told me this is to his credit, you don't need Armand Wiggins. So this is how far we go back. They said you don't need Armand Wiggins. Only thing you need is yourself, your talent. It is your gift. You don't need these people. Stop thinking you need Armand, because I said, I need him. He need my help. You don't need him. Why do you think you need him? And he said, but why do you think you need him? You don't think you're funny? You really think people don't really like you? No, they don't like my content. Like, I was really going through, I was mentally ill because it was messing me up. I'm like, oh. And he said, girl, shut up. And so I think if you consistent, you will make it. So let's fast forward. Ron doing his thing, and I'm consistent. Now the show is growing, right? We're monetized, right? The show is growing. Jonathan gets on drugs, on crystal meth, very heavy on drugs. And he was in my house, and we finally was able to get him in the shower because he wasn't bathing, nothing. So finally, we was able to get him in the shower. So he got in the shower. So while he was in the shower, so let me read his journal. So I'm not going to share everything in his journal, but it was something that caught my eye. He said, I love my cousin, Wiley. He is, and I'm so happy that he is gaining so much popularity on YouTube, because I told him, you're going to be successful on YouTube. You're going to be great. And he listened to my advice. He have always been like a daughter to me. Like, I was his gay dad, and now he have supporters all over the country, and now blah, blah, blah. That made me tear up. So, and, that really made me tear up, because it still makes me cry on the inside, because he's not in a position mentally to enjoy what he had predicted. He's not in that place. I only had 2 friends. One friend had passed away. That was Jaquez and Jonathan, right? Those are my only 2 friends on earth that, because I don't call everybody my friends. Those were the people that was there at my lowest and helped me through it. Jaquez is gone, and Jonathan is on drugs. So, but Jonathan even go further back than Jaquez, because Jonathan was such a great friend that we just met on Facebook maybe 2 days. My grandmother decided, I don't want to live at this apartment no more, because she thought she was going to lose her house. We was on the lease together. She said, I'm not going to renew the lease. I get to keep my house. Cool. But I don't want to go back to my grandma's house, because I ain't going to be able to be gay. I got to be a closeted gay. I can't be me. I got to go to church every day, forced to go to church, and in church, they're going to say, I'm going to hell. So Jonathan, I said, girl, he said, girl, just come on. Can I come up? Just girl, come on. And I said, okay, cool. I pulled up to Jeffrey with my grandmother dropped me in my garbage bags with my stuff. And I have been living with him for almost a decade in Chicago. I lived with him so long until he moved from Chicago to Dallas. And then he helped me get to Dallas when I was having my mental breakdown with my family, when they kicked me out. And then he allowed me to he sent me a bus ticket to Dallas, and that's how I got to Dallas. So that was a real friend. And before that, Jonathan was on my YouTube channel. And the reason why you don't see them episodes is because I was in a church cult. And my pastor, my uncle, was telling me to delete those videos. You're on your way to hell. And I deleted all those videos. Every interview with gay entertainers, drag queens, all these people that I had pulling traction. Every type of track that me and John, we was really pulling some numbers at the time. I deleted it all because my uncle said, you're on your way to hell. Stop that YouTube stuff. You're going to burn in hell. So I didn't want to go to hell. So I said, I don't want to go to hell. So what happened was I just deleted all the video. And then eventually I got out of the cult. I got free to Dallas. I had to get deprogrammed. It took me a lot. Multiple mental illness, psychiatrists, psych doctors, medicine at the time. So I was completely deprogrammed from the cult. Then I was able to focus on the show. And Jonathan told me some great advice. And I still hang on to that advice. And one of the greatest advice he gave me was the consistency and believe in yourself. I held on to that. And I never stopped being consistent. Now, it's not just about being consistent. So now you got to learn the game, the business in blogging. It is a business model. It ain't just about being consistent, because you could be consistent doing consistently absolutely nothing. You've just been doing it for a long time. But are you doing it successfully? Are you doing it the right way? So now I have to keep that consistency drive, that discipline drive. Now you got to understand the business. Now you got to understand how YouTube algorithms work. And now you're learning that. And I'm learning that, right? That's how I was able to move from 30,000 to almost 34,000, because it's something that we shifted. I ain't gonna tell you what it is, because now you got to learn the business. It's a business behind it's just a business, right? So you learning it, and you're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a perfect thing. I've seen many people try to come in this business. I have mentored, wanted to be perfect. They never did the show. This one person, I got to be so organized. I got to write everything that this person had: poster boards, brand new cameras, mixers. I believe this student spent about $5,000 on equipment. I said, I don't think you need to do that. I just think you need to start out small, then grow. They said, no, Wiley, I'm serious. So they paid their $250. We did the consultation, blah, blah, blah. Get a phone call maybe a week later. Yeah, Wiley, I changed my mind. I don't want to do it no more. And I'm so hurt, I can't return none of this stuff. I say, I see, that's what I told you. And I said, I didn't beat them down, because I don't listen. I have a hard time listening to people. So I didn't beat them down at all. But because people think it is easy being on YouTube. And I have mentored people, and they get paid money. They said, Wiley, you make it look like it's not easy. So, because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's not easy. And if you really want to make the money, you really have to work towards it. It is not an overnight success. Armand Wiggins is a case study in it. And I use him as an example. I have a whole PowerPoint on it. I use it as an inspirational story for myself and others. I said, you're looking at Armand Wiggins now, but scratch that. You got to go back to how long it took him to get to where he's at today. Now, certain people are different. Some people can do it. Maybe they can take off in 3 months and 6 months and 8 months and a year. But everybody don't have that story, okay? There's hundreds and thousands of channels made every day, and most of them will never touch that amount of money that is some good money, right? Because this is a long game. And finding an audience is very difficult. And then if you find an audience, I don't like that type of audience you got. Do this and get that. So you get a lot of noise. Because mind you, the Wiley Show never had to do with noise. We didn't have nobody. So we didn't have nobody. Armand been in the business, in the entertainment business, doing entertainment stuff since he was in high school. He been doing entertainment stuff since he was in high school. Dancing, choreography, DJing, etc. And he didn't stay consistent completely, no. But he found his niche, and he stuck with it, and it's growing. Did he have some difficult challenge? Yes, but he stuck with it. What I've learned from him is the consistency and pulling investments back into the channel. Now, I have to say this because certain people just don't have it. So if you don't have it, don't worry about it. And when I went to the Dallas and I saw the upgrade I said, that's where it's at. Because I remember just doing it on the cell phone, the 2 black boxes, and you upgrade it. But it took a while to get to that point, right? A lot of people that watch the Chicago episode, it's going to be a whole nother vibe when you see me full-time in the Dallas studio. So I get it. You just, the big walls and all that type of stuff. I get it. You don't watch the Dallas episode. I get it. But you have to invest in it. So that's why when we did the Dallas model, We got the green screen, and it took a while to get this stuff because, again, we're not getting the hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. I can tell you the amount of money we have gotten. It is nowhere near to what you think. But the little piece that we have, we just stacked it up, and we get equipment piece by piece by piece by piece. And then you got to be consistent. So when I went to Dallas and I was listening to the audience, one of the criticisms of the audience, I listened to them daily. Oh, you're not consistent. You worried about the men, blah, 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 blah. Because every time I would go to Texas, I didn't care about YouTube because I got a regular job. This is a hobby. I got the screw. So I would just say, I'll do a live Tuesday, reschedule. You may not see me until Saturday. So I said, I got to show them the difference. But I'm not going to tell them the difference because they expect it. Let me just show them. Because sometimes you ain't got to show, just show me. So I get to Dallas. I was not well. I had a cold or whatever. And I was just consistent. Boom, 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 boom. It was one of the best shows ever because you're dealing with a new Wiley that's consistent in the gym. And let me be consistent on my business because I was not that consistent. I really was not. Because I looked at YouTube as a hobby. I have shifted my mind from looking at it as a hobby to a career choice maybe about 6 months ago. But I never looked at YouTube as a career. I've always treated it like a hobby. Oh, I come in, whatever, it's YouTube, whatever. I've worked a regular job. Now, when it comes to my professional job, I'm on time, never missed a day, never was late, not even a minute late. Because that's my job. And that's what I get paid as a check. And then somebody said, but you get a check on YouTube. If you have that, if you bring that same mindset that you have clocking in on YouTube, you will be the sky's the limit. And I never thought it that way. And I'm not going to say the person, but one of my mentors said, he said, if you have that same mindset, you never miss a day. I actually cry. I actually go to work when I don't even supposed to go to work. That's how trained I am of going to work. I have went to work multiple times, just showed up, wasn't even on the schedule, on time. It didn't even dawn on me. And when people say, you ain't even on the schedule, I'm like, oh, I ain't on the schedule. Oh. That's how dedicated I am. And I said, oh, I got to be that dedicated for YouTube. I treated YouTube like a side chick. I treated my job like the wife. So it took me to learn that. And that's why it is important to have those mentors that understand. I was like, okay, so now I'm really taking this serious. I never really took it this. I'm like, whatever. And so I'm happy for Armand, happy for his success. I'm happy for all of that. And I'm happy for the audience. Like I thrive on it. That's why I tell my audience, I tell my moderators, don't block these people. As long as I ain't cussing, let these people talk. Let them talk, child. Let them talk. I want that. Because it was a time when nobody talking about the Wiley Show for over a decade. So the last, I would say, 2 years, has been one of the greatest, right? Because it was almost a decade. We've been doing this a long time, honey. Well, 2 people listening, and one of the 2 people he died on last year. So he was one of the 2 that would listen to the show. And sometimes we couldn't make it. It was 0 listeners. 0 listeners. When we interviewed Ernest Owens, Ernest Owens, he's a top leading journalist in Philadelphia. He did my radio show that we had. It was just only me and him listening. When he got there, it was just me talking. But you couldn't tell me I had 3 million people listening because I said on there, we got 8 million people listening around the world. It was just me and him. And then when we got the ratings report, okay, we had 5 listeners, 10 listeners, I believe. So, because I didn't understand the game, you know what I'm saying? It was very discouraging. And it's a very discouraging business. You're going to get a lot of no's, a lot of losses, a lot of L's, but you got to keep going. And so I knew that I had to change, have to change my mind. I had to change the way I eat. I had to change my body. And so now I'm okay. So now you see the growth like on YouTube. And I'm honored for it. But I just think now you see growth. Now you want massive growth. You should have more. I mean, we all should have more. To be technical, Black people as a whole should have more wealth today than what Black people, so we all want more. We all think we should have more, right? But, we have to keep putting in the work, keep working smart, and put in the work. And that's it, man. That is it. And then people would say, oh, Wiley, he trolls. That's their definition of trolling. I challenge that idea. I just do my advice. great advice. I never pulled up on nobody. I never, you know what I'm saying, never pulled up on anybody physically. I've always just talked about people and not just I talk about it this way. No different than what these people talk about on Fox Soul. I don't know the difference. It's I just don't get it. I don't get it at all. And I will never stop talking about people. Sorry. If you think that, you can forget about it, because this is a talk show. This is not me kiss your butt show. I'm not a good kissing butt show. I kiss it maybe for 3 days, but you might do, it might be funky, and I'm gonna call out that funkiness. I'm sorry. That's just me. That's just me. And I'm a damn good interviewer. So I'm not about to just turn this show into the kiss ass show. That ain't gonna happen. I can't do it because I'll get bored. I'm just not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I give you your flowers, but you want to turn this to a kiss ass show, and I'm not gonna do that. But then people would say, "Oh, you trolling? Oh, you this." I don't know the definition of it. I don't understand what is your definition of trolling. And then these same people say, "I watched Tasha." What is different with what Wiley doing than what Tasha's doing? But I'm a fan of Tasha, but she got sued and multiple lawsuits and going on tour and all this stuff. So I just don't understand the difference. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I'm not trying to understand, because they're not making sense. Because when you ask these same people who else they watching, they bringing up Tasha. And if you bring up Tasha, baby, you can't give me advice to tell me to check her. The first advice you should give her is to stop lying, and she ain't stopped yet. You know what I'm saying? So this is what gets me with people. And then you ask them, well, who all do you watch? Everybody that they say they watch, they all controversial talking about people. They never give me, well, I watched this white show. It's all black ghetto people that all talk about black entertainers. So I just don't know why you're trying to change me into something that you don't even consume in your real life. You don't even consume it on YouTube. I asked this one lady, she was dragging me, who all do you watch? She named the list, and Tasha was on the list. She's you. I said, ma'am, you had no right to try to school me or to stop doing what I'm doing, because what is I'm doing different than what Tasha doing? Oh, because Tasha have good equipment. I can get the same equipment. So what are you saying? Oh, it's okay because she got good equipment, so she could do that? So you're saying to get a good camera. And that's when we ran into the lady, my Uber driver, that hooked up that Tasha K camera. Okay, you want good equipment. Okay, good quality. Okay. Because you're not telling me, oh, trolling. What is your definition of trolling? What is your definition of that? What is your definition of that? Tell me, what is your definition of trolling? Okay? That's the piece. What is your definition of trolling? And when I ask that question, nobody can give me a great response. Everybody had different response, but then they said, I don't care if you troll or mine because I hate them. Well, I don't like you trolling Tasha because I like her. So you don't have a problem with me talking about it. It's about don't troll my favorite person. That's the key. Because when I talk to you guys, because you don't call publicly, you call privately. And I get these phone calls. I just don't like you trashing the black women, but you can trash the gays. So you don't have a problem with the trolling. You just want me to troll certain people. I get it. I get it. I get it. That's why I like talking to y'all. So yeah, is nothing wrong with doing that, EA? There's nothing wrong telling your followers to go to a chat. There's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I think it's a problem having folks to pull up and throw drinks on the people. That's a problem. But telling them to go in the chat to represent the Wiley Show, that's not a problem. And I disagree with you. Maybe you're upset that we have more people in the chat representing Wiley than others. Take that up with you can't get mad that I have true support. But you just said I don't have support. So which one is it? You asked what trolling? That's not trolling. I call that promoting and marketing. I don't call that trolling. I call that promoting and marketing. I don't call it trolling. No different than when people were saying Donald Trump. I call it promote. See, our definition, I have to agree to disagree. I call it promoting and marketing. I don't call that trolling. No, I don't. Not only that, I just don't. I call it promoting and marketing. I don't call it. And you're still watching. You just post it in the chat. Like, what's wrong with that? Well, if you want to call it troll, then everybody do it. Because they be posting wine glass in this chat, telling folks when they going live. So what is the difference in what Wiley doing? That's the piece. That's the key. I feel like they do it all the time. So it is what it is. And he became the president of the United States, EA. So if you believe that, I don't even want, we have a website called wileythetroll.com. I embrace the term because I don't give a damn. I'm going to keep on troll. If you want to use the word troll, baby, I take it. Go to www.wileythetroll.com. And now, ever since we embrace that, we're getting viewership over there. Articles, people getting jobs of what we write on wileythetroll.com. And this is just the beginning. A person got arrested and almost about to face 50 years in prison because we put him on the website how he violated and whipped this old man in Dallas. And that's how we got monetized on Facebook. So I take the troll, baby. I take the troll. I take that troll to the bank. Take it. www.wileythetroll.com. I embrace it because I don't feel like that's an insult. I don't. I feel like it's wrong when you run up on somebody and throw a drink on their face. I feel like it's wrong when you get your high heels and you try to beat up somebody in the club. I feel like that's wrong. But what I'm doing, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Moderators, make sure y'all drop my website because I don't see nothing wrong with it. I promote and everything, and people got jobs about what we said on our website. Anyway, but nevertheless, we love each and every one of y'all. We are not going to stop entertaining y'all and having a good old time, and we will be reviewing TGIF on tomorrow. Now we're going to take your questions or comments about what we talked about in the show. We literally are now taking phone calls. If you want to call in, now is the time for you all to call in and to give your thoughts on the show. Like we talked about a lot of good stuff today. And this is a 2 hour. We did this for 2 hours. Oh my gosh. I was not planning on being here for 2 hours. I tried to do 1 hour, but y'all did a vote. Y'all say y'all wanted to go live after TGIF. So y'all wanted to go live after that. And I followed y'all direction, chat. Y'all posted it in the chat. So if you sleep, I understand. Good. Because I know y'all going to call in. For those that are going to call me after the show, the number is 972-674-9462. I know y'all going to leave a voicemail because I put it on Do Not Disturb. And I just listen to your voicemail. So leave a voicemail if you don't want to call in. You're going to do that anyhow because some of y'all, I had to listen to 10 voicemails today. Some were good and some were not so good, child. Because y'all be listening to my show and respond to me in the voicemail. All right, it is what it is, child. Keep on listening, all right? Let me see what y'all say in here. Love you all. Check out Wiley website. Thank you for that. That's an honor and that's a blessing. All right, thank you. And we'll be back tomorrow with another episode of my review of TGIF. And we will be talking about some more topics, man. We have a lot of topics that we talked about today, and it was an honor seeing y'all in the building. Now, what do y'all rate Club Shay Shay, that interview with Monique? If you 10 being the best, 1 being not so much. Let me know in the chat. What do y'all rate that episode? Let me know in the chat there. 10 being the best and 1 being it was a 0. What do y'all rate that Club Shay Shay? I want to know y'all thoughts of that Club Shay Shay interview. 1 being the least, 10 being the best. For y'all to rate that. Now, you just told me don't troll, but you didn't even watch the content, child, but you only watched the trolling part. So why would you want me to change? Somebody said an 8. Okay. EA didn't watch, but mad at the troller, but didn't watch the content, the interview. Someone said an 8. An 8. Somebody said a 7.5. A 7.5. A 7.5. Okay. Now, what is your, somebody said a 10. A 10. I give it a 10 too. Kiki said 10 times. I said 10 2 times. Okay. Well, now I want to pose a question. What do you get if you have to rate TGIF from 10 being the best for this episode or 1 being the least? What is wrong? 10 being the best, 10 being the best, 1 being not so much. Okay. 10 being the best, 10 being the best of the TGIF or a 1. How did you feel about tonight's episode of Fox Soul? Let me know in the chat. In the chat. Post. 10 being the least. 10 being the most, 1 being the least. Let me see. Okay, let me know in the chat. How do you feel about that episode? Kiki said, I did watch. Tasha said the show is boring. The show is boring. Anybody else that have something to say about the TGIF show? Let me know. Okay. For too much glitching and boring besides Armand. Anybody else? Let me know in the comments. We're going to keep this conversation going in the comments. I have to do the replay, but I know TGIF is a sleep fest. Okay, so let's get to the announcements there. Oh my gosh, y'all is reading that particular show. Let's get into the announcements here. Now, first of all, we're going to get into, we have an event, meet and greet. I would love to see you all there. That is April 26th to the 28th. I would love to see you all there. It's going to be amazing. For more information, you can email us at Wiley Show Productions at gmail.com. Me and Couture Bay will be meeting our subscribers, hanging out in Vegas, April 26th to the 28th. Make sure you book your room for those that are going to be staying at the Palace Station Hotel Casino. Please do, because we could all meet up there and go to the Strip and have a good time in Vegas, right? That's April 26th through the 28th. Any questions you can have for me, or you can go to Wiley Show Productions at gmail.com, and it will be amazing. Go to Wiley Show Productions at gmail.com. It will be amazing. Thank you all so very much for your amazing content, for your amazing comments, and for those that have doing amazing content on us. Just thank you for that. If you want to contribute to the Wiley Show, $ Marquise Wiley 28, Zelle, WileyShow@gmail.com. And we love you all so very much. Little black boy, you're beautiful. Little black girl, you are enough. When times get hard, always remember to put God first. We thank you all so very much. Yet another episode. I'm about to go eat because I got to go to sleep. I'm tired. Peace.